Hey guys, it's Wexdarn here and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda. In this part we have a lot to do before we go dungeoneering once again. I think we might actually have more to do than last time, but basically we're collecting the last of the collectibles that you can get on the overworld, and you might notice that since the last episode I've grinded up on rupees, because you will actually need at least 100 rupees to get something in the next dungeon. And I highly recommend that you get it, so get those 100 rupees. It is incredibly important and you will greatly appreciate the reward, or at least I think you will. It's an incredibly useful reward, and I'm just getting beaten up completely here. Like, I've lost an entire heart, so yeah, see, for this little section you might remember, so you don't, no I don't think it, no, I didn't show it off, so I'm saying that you might remember it. Oh well, we're going like all the way round to where that rock with the heart piece inside it is again. Rock with the heart container inside it again, because I misnamed it again. I just love calling the heart containers heart pieces in this game. I don't know why. Just don't know why. Like, heart pieces don't come into it until 2 games later. I mean, I've just got Link to the Past on the brain, man, since the sequel's been announced. Like, I think it's just on the mind. But anyway, you want to go as far right as you possibly can, and then just head down and keep going right again. Then you find this platform, and thanks to the raft that we got a couple of levels ago, we can now use this. And what looks like another dungeon entrance, but it's actually not, because, well, there's no single enemy outside, and that's normally an indicator. So once again we want to take the heart container, which takes up to 11 hearts now. So, yeah, this game and a couple of others like Phantom Hourglass and I think Spirit Tracks, it only has a maximum of actually 16 hearts. Like, in a majority of the games in the series you have a maximum of 20, but in this one it's 16. But, you know, it's understandable. This was before standards were set. I mean, this game was partially a standard setter, but it was before standards for the entire series were made, so it's understandable for the formula to be different. I mean, like, a lot of games were different on their first games, so anyway, like, right here you need your step ladder and then your step ladder again, and well, that's our 14th heart container. Link doesn't even... No, that's our 12th heart container. Link doesn't even make a big deal out of it, he just casually picks it up like it's a regular item, which I find kind of funny. But alright, now we've got 12 heart containers, there's actually something we can do now. I don't know if I mentioned it, but like when we got it, because I just got it as part of like the preparations for the first dungeon, but the white sword, basically you need 5 hearts in order to be able to pick it up from the old man that we took it from. If you don't have 5 hearts, then you won't be able to pick it up. So if you don't pick up any of the extra heart containers, then you have to wait until you've beaten 2 dungeons, really, before you can pick up the white sword. But there is actually a 3rd sword in the game, but that requires 12 hearts to get it. And because we couldn't access those 2 overworld ones until we got the raft and the step ladder from the last 2 levels, it's kind of why I left it until now to, well, go for it, because this is the earliest point in the game we can go for it. Right. So, we're actually setting off on our quest for the 3rd and final sword in this game. And in doing so we're actually passing the point where we got the 1st sword, so yeah. Once again, when we get this sword, it's actually going to be another, like, doubling power, so we're going to have 4 hits compared to the wooden sword and 2 hits compared to the white sword. So any enemies that took 2 hits with the white sword that were pretty tough are now going to be taken down pretty easily. Although the Octorok still managed to get a hit in on us. But yeah, and another thing that I did whilst I was off screen was I bought another red potion. So I really have been grinding the rupees, considering that I've got over 100 of them to spare, and I bought a red potion, which in itself costs 68. So yeah, you just want to carry on heading left, really, because there's a whole lot of left to go. See, and here's one of those 100 rupee secrets that we got from burning a bush. Just go up and around it, like, and down here. Oh come on! I can't believe that arrow just like barely grazed me, you silly moblin. Ah well. I have quarter of a heart of damage. It really infuriates me. I know I have half a heart. Block that. I just love how Link just like can casually stop anything with his shield, and rather than like arrows getting stuck in his shield, it just sort of bounces off. It's brilliant. No hearts out of any of you really. Right, anyway. Here is basically a prototype for what would later be known as the Lost Woods in like... it's closer to the Ocarina of Time interpretation of the Lost Woods rather than the Link to the Past version. But basically, depending on what direction Link goes in, like any direction other than going right will take you somewhere differently. Well, any direction other than going right will actually just make you loop through this screen. But there is actually a set combination to actually getting through this forest, so what you have to do is go up, and I apologise for saying this slowly because the screen has to scroll every time, and go left, and then down, and then finally left again. After hearing that classic chime, there's actually supposed to be a bunch of enemies here, but they've not turned up this time. There's supposed to be a bunch of Lynels that appear here, like these guys. Like, I'm not sure what happened there, because I've always had to face Lynels there, but... ah well, we've got these guys to face now. Nice fairy to get me back onto full health. And next we're going to be heading into the graveyard for this game. The graveyards are actually relatively common in the Legend of Zelda series. We've got this ghost enemy called, I think it's Genie here, and basically only the first one can actually die, because if you touch the graves in any of these screens, more of them appear, and you can't damage them, but they can damage you. So yeah, you're going to want to be a bit careful. You can kill the first one that appears, like I said, but if you disturb one of the graves, then a Genie will pop out. But the reason why we're still in the graveyard is that we actually need to hit a very specific grave. Once I take care of this guy, there you go. If you nudge this one, you actually get another staircase. And apparently we've mastered using it, so here it is. This is the magical sword. It does double the damage of the white sword, and you can only get it with 12 hearts, which we have. Well, you can get it with more than 12 hearts, but you can only get it with at least 12 hearts, is what I meant to say. Right, there's one more little upgrade thing that we can find before we go on to the next dungeon, which I'm going to go get. It's not too far, it's just across here, up here and across again. More Lynels to fight. Alright, that's pretty nice actually, thank you, back on full health. I love how the magical sword can take out Lynels in one hit though, because there is such a pain right at the start of the game, but now all you want to do is nudge this Armo statue, try taking it out, and then you get the power bracelet. Now you might be wondering what the power bracelet actually does, but to give you a quick example, we go over here and down here, and you might have noticed rocks in that sort of formation elsewhere in the overworld. In fact, we went past them earlier in this video. But basically, with the power bracelet, Link can... well, I'm trying to make it work, but Link can nudge one of the rocks and you can go inside. And taking one of these actually works like a shortcut. And basically, after you've gone in it for the first time, it unlocks the other shortcuts across the overworld. It's like they'll just appear like the staircase, and these random rocks that can be nudged, and basically it's like a little fast travel system, which is very nice, actually. Like, it's incredibly useful. That one takes us over to, actually takes us right next to the heart container rock that we keep on coming back to. So that's really incredibly nice. you're going to want to stick in this area, by the way. And that rock that was nearby is the rock that you have to nudge to unlock that passageway, but we're going to keep on going left here because there's just one last thing I want to show off. It isn't necessarily unlockable, but in the last dungeon that we were in, there was actually a guy who said walk into the waterfall. This is the waterfall that he was talking about. Pay me and I'll talk. Basically, this woman will give you tips about where to go and stuff. So, like, let's give her 20 rupees. Go up the mountain ahead. That's actually hint to getting into the next level. Let's see, 10 rupees. This ain't enough to talk. Well, you said pay me. What do you say for 5 then, if that ain't enough to talk? Can I hit you with this sword, by the way? No. You'll still take my money though, won't you? Anyway, going back here, I said way earlier in the series that this screen will be important. Basically what you want to do is keep holding up. Now you're going to have to scroll through this screen 4 times, so yeah, just don't give up on it, just keep on holding up. Right, it should be one more time, and there you go, that little chime. Ooh, I hate levers. Like, just being the enemy there, it just pops up directly in front of us. But anyway, straight into the 5th dungeon. Alright, same old music. Now then, what you want to do is what you want to do is equip your arrow. And straight in here, and you'll find an enemy in this game called Pole's Voice. These are incredibly weak to the arrow. They all die in one hit, or you can try taking them out with your sword, in which case they take a lot more hits. Basically, the instruction manual for this talks about how Pole's Voice are weak to sound in this game, which a lot of people interpreted as being weak to a particular item that we're going to get quite soon, actually. But what that actually was that in the Japanese release, one of the controllers could have a microphone on it, and basically if you shouted into the microphone, it would kill all the Pole's Voice on the screen. The American manual still had the talk about the like sound killing them, but because we didn't get like a microphone thing on one of the controllers, it didn't really have we couldn't really have that sort of effect on them, so they implemented the arrow weakness as well, but there's no hint in the game about Pole's Voice being weak to arrows. And here we basically have three Dagongos as a little like mini battle, I guess. Like, one of these was the boss earlier, and now we're fighting 3 of them as kind of like a mini boss, which is kind of weird. But you just want to load them up with bombs, which you're gonna need a lot of if you're not accurate about it. Like, right then, you kind of need a bit of prediction as well, because you're gonna make sure that the Dodongos go over the bombs. Oh, I've got to make this bomb count. Oh god, I didn't make it count. And he's not budging on that. I think I might be able to fire an arrow at him. Nope. Oh, apparently that seemed to work. I don't know, it made a different sound effect. For now, let's just go into this room and probably equip our candle. But anyway, Pole's voices are rather unique. Sort of. I thought I had the candle. I don't know why I thought I had the candle, but I thought I had the candle equipped. I just wasted a blue potion. Well, wasted a red potion and turned it into a blue one, but so I'm gonna have to go buy another one at some point. I don't know. Alright, these enemies here are called Gibdos. They look like mummies, but they're just they're called Gibdos. They just need a couple of whacks with your sword. They're nothing particularly special. Like, there's sort of get more unique in like the 3D installments, like Ocarina. In Ocarina of Time, it's my favourite like interpretation of Gibdo's, that Majora's Mask, but yeah, they get better then, but for now they're just rather bland enemies. Let's see. Then we'll head up. I really need a bomb to take care of that Dagongo. Let's see. Darknut's actually dying one hit to the magical sword, so it's a really good reason to get it. Darknut's being one of the most annoying enemies in this game, you're going to want to take him out quick. That's why you're going to want the magical sword. See, we've got Gibdo's, Paul's voice and Keese all in the same room. And we've lost our sword beam. See, so that's my favourite weapon in this game, the sword beam, so I feel kind of bad when we lose it, and at least we've got bombs now, so we can take out the Dagongos when we go back. But we also need them for something else that's coming up. So, anyway, let's head through this door. We've got more Gibdos, and they're surrounded in a pool of what I'm going to assume is, what I'm going to hope is lava, because otherwise you could interpret it as being blood, which isn't that nice, so yeah, you can live in hope, I guess. We've got a key back to reimburse us for the key that we used to get into this room. Right. Just keep on throwing arrows at these guys. Now you can hear the boss in the next room over, but we don't actually have the weapon that we'll need to take him out. Reason being that the weapon is sealed off in the area that we actually need to defeat the Dodongos to get to. So yeah. Well, there is another way in that there's a bombable wall that can take us there, but we ran out of bombs as well, so yeah. I blame myself for this. Right. What? Let's see. How we can't be too far from the Dagongos now, can we? Right, that's where the map is, which would kind of be handy to have actually, so we can actually see where we are rather than just like a little speck on the map. Like, rather than just being a random speck in the top corner, it'd be nice to know where we actually are. And nice to have my sword beams back. Yeah, a lot of the time you don't need your candle, you can normally wake your way back via guesswork. Alright, come on bomb. Let's beat the Dodongo together. Alright, so we need to place one more and we have 3 bombs to do it. There you go, have that. Right, I can't believe that the prize that we get for beating the Dagongos with bombs is more bombs. It's rather silly. Okay, so let's get going. Got a nice bunch of like gelatinous cubes, I guess, going for us. So, again, we're still racking up a bunch of keys. See, the wall on the right is actually like what we could have used as a bombable wall to get in here, rather than having to fight through the Dagongos, but I didn't do it that way, and thank you Gibdo for dropping those. Now right here are blue Darknuts. They're incredibly annoying, especially if you're not equipped with the magical sword, because they take 2 hits to down with the magical sword, which means 4 hits with the white sword or 8 hits with the wooden sword, so getting the magical sword really helps. Just saying. It's incredibly useful. Right, so with this room, of course, you've got to nudge the one on the far left, and in you go. Now, rather than having the item in this time, it's actually linking you to another room, which is linking you to another part of the dungeon. It takes it to the very top of it. And you can either go down or left, and I'm going to go down. There's a little secret nearby. There's a little room you can't access through any other method, and it's kind of nice that they give us a key to reimburse us here. What you want to do is bomb this wall here, straight in, and this is what you need the 100 rupees for. Yes, I would like to have more bombs. Now, he's not charging you to like replenish your bombs, but he'll actually increase the amount you can hold up to 12, which is incredibly useful considering you've been limited to 8 so far, and I finally got that number right. It's not 3, it's not 4, it's 8. But now you have 12 anyway, so that kind of makes that pointless. Well, here we have another room with blue dark nuts. And I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. On the bright side, a lot of the time it doesn't seem like they go after Link. So I guess that's alright, but they still do a lot of damage. Like, I think they take off a full heart. Like, yeah, they take off a full heart even with the blue ring, so you can imagine how frustrated I was getting before I got the blue ring and it was just taking off 2 hearts a hit. So, I mean, that can really take you out pretty quickly. Oh god. I might be going crazy here, but I think the more of them that you kill off, the more they seem to go for Link. So we've got 2 hearts left. Right, just nudge this block. You can nudge this block whilst the Dark Nuts are in here, but I like taking care of them just because you can get money out of them. And we're actually going to need more money in the future for one more item as well as, like, your potions. So, yeah, like, it's not an overload item, it's just another little upgrade you can purchase, but I want to get all the upgrades that you can, so, yeah. Anyway, that recorder is the item that we actually need to beat the boss in this dungeon, and it's also what people thought the Pole's voice were weak to because it was talking about sound and stuff, and obviously you'd think that the recorder would make sound that they wouldn't like, so yeah, it's one way to interpret it, and I think I'm just going to end up using my like now blue potion here. So I'm gonna have to go out of the dungeon and like replenish my potion, but like I don't fancy taking on Dark Nuts without having my health restored, considering how bad I've performed against them already. Right, I just think I'm just gonna go for the hole. I'm gonna try making a break for it. There you go. And then we're going to make a break for the other hole. We're going to take the quickest route I think I possibly can to reach the next boss. I think it's through here, like through a room I've not used the key for apparently. This is the wrong room. Now here's another little hint that you can get in this game, but the Dig Dog is actually the boss, so this is hinting that you do need the recorder, which is kind of nice, but it's kind of non-specific as well, so it's kind of vague. And I don't think I mentioned that if you attack the old men in the dungeons, they start shooting fireballs at you. So yeah, they'll just constantly fire streams of fireballs, which is kind of cool for the old men, but I don't see why they get to telekinetically control fire. Right, I think this is definitely the route we want to go now. We don't have to take out the dongos again. And it's weird that the dongos make the boss noise sound effects even though they aren't the boss of this dungeon. But we'll just keep on going, keep on trucking. And this is going to be like a long episode, but I want to like not go the wrong way, but want to keep on like consistently having 2 dungeons a video because it just seems to like get through it quicker. So even though it's longer videos, and I'm sure you guys aren't going to complain that I'm outputting longer videos, like, there's just more content to watch. Right, I don't think it will get as bad as Beautiful Joe was on this channel, but anyway, after this we don't have to do massive trips over the overworld, because the recorder actually has an amazing function outside of dungeons. So yeah, I really love the recorder. Right, now we're getting up to the actual boss, rather than the 3 Dogongos. Straight in here, and this is Dig Dogger. Basically he's a giant like eyeball and he's invincible unless you play the recorder. That's what we're gonna do. And some of you might have noticed that's actually the warp whistle sound effect from Super Mario Bros. 3. And some of you might also notice it as the title theme to Ocarina of Time, where it originally originated from, this game. But yeah, anyway, we only have a couple more dungeons left to go. And basically what's really cool about the recorder is, now that we have it equipped, basically just play it and you will take off in a tornado and you will arrive at a dungeon. This took us back to our original dungeon. See, I think it's like one way it takes you to your it takes you around a loop of all the dungeons that you've been inside. So this is taking us to level 1. And like next time it'll take us to level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and then if you've not been to a dungeon after that, then it'll actually like loop round. So yeah, what you want to do is end up at dungeon 3, and it's just taking us back to dungeon 1. So I'm just mashing the recorder at this point. Link's just playing the same tune over and over to summon a tornado. So that's dungeon 2. Let's see, dungeon 3, and you want to stop at dungeon 3 because it's the closest to dungeon 6. So yeah, let's keep on going this way. Like, you don't have to have completed the dungeon to warp play, you just have to have been inside. So if you accidentally stepped inside a dungeon by accident and then ended up with the recorder, that's perfectly fine, you can still warp there. But we have to go through the Lost Woods again. So just remember the combination of up, left, down, left. Screw you, moblins. I can take you out in one hit now. Ah, Magical Sword Link is so overpowered. Right. Still no Lionels here. There should be Lionels. I don't see why I'm complaining about the lack of enemy placement, but still, no Lionels. And there's the heart that I wanted. Like, even though it showed full health, I knew there was a quarter heart missing, and I couldn't have that. Something in my OCD was telling me, you need to get rid of that quarter heart. But anyway, we're moving on to the next dungeon, which has the coolest name of the dungeons. Well, arguably coolest, except for the very last one. But here we are, we're heading off to the Dragon Dungeon. So, yeah. See, the Dragon Dungeon also introduces arguably the most annoying enemy in this game. So, you get the joys of watching me combat that. And speaking of the most annoying enemies in the game, here they are. These are Wizrobes. They're actually enemies who will teleport in and out of sight, so you might not be able to hit them. And they like have long range magic attacks. They come in two colours, red and blue. Red is the weaker one and blue takes more hits and stuff. So yeah, it's what you can expect, but they just teleport in at different angles. But one nice thing about them is that there's actually a Master Wizrobe in the room. And basically if you take out the master, then all of them will die at the same time, so it's not too bad. Let's see, and we actually got our compass, so you can see where the Triforce is, but there's not much point in having a compass without a map. See, I like how they've tried to spice up having a room full of keys by adding the fireball statues. Anyway, let's keep on going. Now, there should be an enemy coming up that I don't think I explained, but it did appear in a dungeon in the last video. These floating things going around the outside, those are actually called bubbles. They won't damage Link, but if they do touch him, then Link is unable to draw his sword for a little bit, so he's left kind of defenseless at times. But of course, if you want to stick to using your bow and arrow, that's fine as well. But in a room where there's lights that can take your sword, that can take your shield if you're not fighting back with your sword, then you kind of want to avoid them. Let's see, nudge that block and through this door. And the room's filled with more Wizrobes. So anyway, freeze time, that makes everything much easier. You can see even with the magical sword, it takes 3 hits to kill a blue Wizrobe, so you can imagine how difficult it is with a lesser sword. But in here we have another rehashed mini-boss, which is Gleok, but this time with 3 heads opposed to 2. Only the heads are much easier for us to kill this time due to us having a magical sword. I say that as I got a lot of health taken off me, but still, we beat it, it's fine. I really should have gone out of the dungeon and grabbed myself a magical potion, but there's no time for that. Anyway, got my sword back from the... I did have my sword back from the bubble, I just want to take out this Zol. Come on, there you go. Right, don't want to get eaten, don't want to get eaten. I just want a heart. Or a dungeon map, that works as well. So you want to go straight up. Oh god. Let's see, at least with blue Wizrobes, they stay around. And I died. Cut! Okay, so I made it back to the room where I died. That took a lot longer than it needed to, but I decided to actually head out of the dungeon and take my own advice and grab a potion, which I'm already using the first dosage of. I'm not proud of myself, but if you've got to use it, then you've got to use it. There's no other way about it. But it's actually weird that it's kind of weird with me and my health in RPGs. In some of them I really hate seeing my health drop below anything other than perfect, but in other games, and one example in particular that comes to mind is Kingdom Hearts, I don't mind that much not being on perfect health. But I bring up Kingdom Hearts just because I was playing Kingdom Hearts 2 with my friend Lorna, and we were doing the Zelda boss fight from that game, and basically I wasn't healing until the health bar was basically screaming at us to heal, and she was just having a massive panic attack over it, and it was, honestly, it was pretty funny in that I still kind of won the boss fight overall, even though the health bar was going crazy and just dinging and stuff. But anyway, to the game at hand, you might notice that we picked up a rod item here, the magic wand thingamabob, the magical MacGuffin of this dungeon. Basically it's, well, let me light up this dungeon room as well a little bit, because I'm not sure how this room's laid out, but want the candle. Okay, it's just simple like that, but basically it's just a magical projectile weapon. It allows us to shoot what the Wizrobes have been firing. Some people would say it's more reliable than the bow and arrow because you don't have to pay rupees for it, and I can agree with that to an extent. And it does fire pretty quickly, so I actually prefer using it to the bow and arrow, but the bow and arrow has a couple of other benefits to it, such as the fact that if you hit something with the bow and arrow, it will still pass through an enemy, so it can kill multiple enemies with one shot, which is something I really like doing with the bow and arrow. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, now that we've got the item for this place, we can start heading towards the boss. You notice that blue wizrobes are actually immune to the effects of the rod, so red wizrobes not so much, but oh thank god we kept our shield. Let's see, there's one bit of trivia about the shield I've not actually talked about, and that's the fact that it's got a rather prominent cross on it. Apparently this is because Miyamoto actually wanted Christianity to be the dominant religion in Hyrule, until like for some reason Nintendo likes to censor a lot of religious iconography, such as the fact that we'll be getting in just a little bit, like in the next dungeon, will actually had its name changed because it had something to do with religion at one point. But basically, yeah, Hyrule was supposed to be Christianity, which actually changes a lot of the like lore of the game. Like a lot of stuff in the later series is a whole lot different if it was Christianity. Although, those of you who know what I'm talking about, having a holy trinity seems to have like stuck. But yeah, we're almost at the boss now anyway. Not too far away, but this dungeon has the most pathetic boss in the entire game. Just saying that. Like, I think we're a room away from it now. Yeah, you can hear the boss's cries, so we're about a room away. Okay, traps. And what you want to do is equip your bow and arrow. And I hope you bought the arrow before this dungeon, but basically, like, you have to wait for its eye to open and dodge the fireballs in the meantime. Like, as soon as its eyes open, put an arrow in there and it's done. Just one arrow. That's it. But basically, yeah, that was the 2 dungeons for this video. We have 3/4 of the Triforce of Wisdom complete now. And yeah, I shall see you next time where we actually get the last quarter of it. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you then.